We all have that friend who wakes up early to go get everyone McDonald's breakfast, while the rest of us sleep in. This is your sign to thank them. And if you're that friend, this is us saying thank you.
Now get a sausage McMuffin, sausage biscuit, sausage burrito, or hash browns. Choose 2 for $2.50. Enjoy a large iced coffee for just $2. Price and participation may vary. Cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal. Single item at regular price.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
You're listening to a Countout Podcast.
I tell you what, my dog, like, you think you can just put down a dog's food and, like, leave it to its business. But that is not the case with my dog, because she's mentally superior to me. Like, she just be like, cool, well, I guess I'll just die, like, is how she goes. Like, if she doesn't feel like that particular food or whatever on the day, she's just like, guess I don't eat anymore. And we'll just, like, lay about for, like, a day and then start to vomit everywhere and, like, until she will mentally crush me every single time. Like, so when she's doing that, you've got to, like, hand feed her a bit or, like, you know, to jumpstart the process. This morning, I got her to eat some, and then in the end, I just put her in bed with my wife and went, I'll come back to you later. You'll be all right in a couple of hours. But, you know, some days she just doesn't like her food. She doesn't like the biscuits, but she needs to have them. Because she's got, like, she gets crystallization in her kidneys or whatever, you know, so she has to have a special biscuit.
Oh, yeah.
So all the foods that I give her are all to mask the biscuit she has to have. But if she detects the like, biscuits, then it's game over. Then she doesn't want to eat it. And so, just so annoying.
I never met a dog that doesn't like their biscuits before.
Fucking hates them. But she's always been like that. She just doesn't like biscuits at all. Like, for the first 6 months plus of her life, she only ate biscuits. And then one day she went, I am done with this life, and you need to figure out an alternative or I will die. Like, and that's when she didn't even know other types of foods existed. She just went, I'd rather slip away from this fucking mortal coil than live a life with whatever shit you're feeding me. And that's just how she's always been, you know. She's just a complete maniac. But
what a fucking princess.
Yeah, she is. That's exactly what she is. So, yeah. Anyway, I'm recording. Welcome to Okada Shorts, everybody.
Hey, man. I actually pulled a chair over today so that my dog could sit next to me. Because normally he sits on the couch, which is about 2.5 feet away.
Yeah.
Maybe less, maybe 2 feet or so away. And he just whines that he's not right next to me. So I pulled over our chaise lounge here so that he could sit right next to me. Mm-hmm. And then he fucked off upstairs to go sleep with my wife anyway.
He wait till you're like halfway through the podcast, and then he'll appear and he'll be like, may I now be lifted to the shay, please?
Can you please lift me up and put me up there? I don't want to jump. It's 2 a.m. I don't want to jump. That's what he's going to say.
Exactly.
Or he's going to want to go outside and take a poop.
I know, what an absolute monster. Is it 2 a.m. there now? Or it's going to be 2
No.
morning?
It's 2:20 or 12:20 right now.
Yeah, okay. Fuck. I thought it was 11:20 for some reason. I forgot how hard your life is. Anyway, welcome to Okada Shorts.
I'm so glad this isn't a video podcast, or else people would have just seen me hearing that song. I started picking up change in my living room and I fell through the TV. So,
look.
Anyway, welcome to Okada
I said
Shorts,
that TV.
everybody.
It didn't look that good. You needed a new one. It's fine.
I tell my wife that.
You're like, it actually costs quite a lot of money.
So yeah, welcome to Okada Shorts, everybody. We are the Kings of Pod style, the International Wrestling Grand Prix. I'm your good friend Curtis Spears over there. That's your bad friend Rafe Houston. How you doing today, buddy?
I'm doing bad. I'm actually not doing bad. To be honest, I have COVID. You wouldn't fucking know it because I look like $1,000,000 and feel great. I had like a slight tickle for a hot second, and then I was like totally fine, and I got a free 7 days off work. So, yeah.
But you're still in the isolation station, yeah?
I'm in the isolation station, but to be honest, I've said it before on podcasts and to friends that I would thrive in that situation, and I have. It is amazing, and I would stay here forever. So I have no issues.
Are you staying separate from Amy, or is she just like gonna get it too?
She's just gonna get it too, because we had just come back from like a 2-week holiday where we were together every single day. We were like in accommodations together. We were driving in a car, just the two of us, for hours. Like anywhere I have been, she has been. So she's either had it and been over it in the time that we were on holiday, or it just didn't test positive then and it's going to. You know what I mean? It was inevitable, so we didn't bother about it. And because, like, with WA's close contact rules or whatever, she counts as a close contact, she has to isolate for the same amount of time anyway. So basically, on the 7th day, I test, and so does she. And if I am, negative, then I go on with my life, and I'm, I guess, immune for 2 months or something like that. And if she tests positive, then she does 7 days isolation, but that won't affect sort of my time. So, yeah, that's where we're at the moment. And, thriving, feeling good, doing some extra podcasts, and looking forward to doing this one, hanging out with my bud.
That's great, man. Yeah, I actually did one earlier tonight. I did a record already with Shane with the old Smart Foundation podcast. We had Mikey on from the Count Out Network. Mikey from Independent Waters came on, awesome. And we played a game. We did a what's the best way to put it? It's a draft. So Mikey represented AEW, I represented New Japan, and Shane represented WWE, and we each took 5 draft picks from the other 2 federations.
That's so fun.
And it was a pretty good time. Today is actually the NFL draft in America, so we wanted to do something to celebrate. It was pretty cool. I think I got the shit end of the deal. I tried. Who'd you
get for New Japan?
I got it written. I've got it written down.
Please. Or do we make people just like go to Smart Foundation?
People should go to Smart Foundation anyway. I'll go. So my first overall pick, I wanted to take Miro, but we made the rule that you can't take any champions or anybody who's currently injured. So I couldn't take Miro. So my first pick ended up being Jungle Boy.
Okay.
And because I wanted someone, but I think my picks were great, but everybody else kind of fucked my ideas over.
Yeah.
I wanted to shore up the tag team division and shore up the junior division. So I was taking juniors and tag teams, and
that was just like taking Okada.
No champions. Can't take champions.
Oh, okay then. Well, that's all right then. Yeah, cool.
Yeah, so
but there's plenty of great wrestlers that aren't champions in New Japan.
Yeah, that's the thing. So they kind of screwed over my junior division and my tag teams while I was trying to shore it back up.
Actually,
bastards.
Actually, we're going to do, well, not a draft today, but we are going to do a bit of fantasy booking or whatever for Forbidden Door. And I actually found it a little bit challenging, just because I think so much of the New Japan roster that when I tried to dream match them, I was like, I'd probably rather just see him against this other guy from New Japan. It was the issue I was having, And so, yeah.
As we are wont to do, we wanted to think of the good and the bad ideas. We wanted to think of the best case scenario and the worst case scenario. I had no problems coming up with the best case scenario. I was just like, oh man, who would I like to see this guy against?
I actually found the best case harder than the worst case.
Really?
Yeah, exactly. The worst case, I dial those up all day, which is kind of how my mind works, I think, because I'm a bit of a psycho. But the best case, I think I made it a little bit harder for myself because I was trying to think of not the obvious ones. There's a couple of obvious ones there, but I tried to think of stuff that maybe you wouldn't think of and try to do something a little bit different. Whether I succeeded or not, I don't know.
So we are going to be getting to the Forbidden Door talk a little bit later on in the episode. We're also going to be talking about the problems that were had with Windy City Riot and the Fight TV feed that came off of that. Hello, there's my dog. Sorry.
On cue.
And we won't actually be breaking down the event because it's not technically on World yet, so we're gonna wait till it's on New Japan World for more people to see it. And then we'll also be previewing Wrestling Dontaku, which is this weekend.
Yes,
very exciting. Hey, Frankie made it onto the Shays Lounge after all.
Yes.
Good boy.
And another thing I want to talk to you briefly, I don't know if you had a chance to check it out. I didn't check out the whole show, but we could briefly touch on Golden Series just because there was a couple of moments there in that, well, you wouldn't even say final. I don't know. Bigger show that they had throughout Golden Series.
Well,
I hate it when they do stuff like that. They would just like throw a good match in the middle of like a series of like nothing events.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, we haven't even begun to talk about the biggest abortion of justice that has come out of New Japan recently, and that is the fact that Taichi's King of Pro Wrestling reign has ended before it even really got started.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. We didn't even get to the island.
We didn't even get to the island.
Didn't even get to
the
island.
Island is
there
still.
Wasn't even
it's
a
still,
throne. It was. Yeah. It was.
There was no throne. There was no trophy room.
Yeah.
We didn't get a life-size Miho Abe covered in gold like a James Bond movie.
No,
nothing.
We didn't get anything. We just got a match with like. I don't like that stipulation. That cumulative, like 30 counts. I think it's dumb. So yeah, the KOPW thing needs to go in the bin, eh? Like, they had an opportunity there, and they didn't even see it, you know, like with Taichi holding it. Like, he was the perfect guy to hold it because though he's built up like a lot of, you know, credibility, you know, with fans and in his work and all that stuff. But at the end of the day, he is a cheesy, dramatic character. So you can have somebody like him claim that this dumb thing is amazing and it sort of makes sense and he can give it like the credibility that like a Yano can't. Giving it to Shingo, like it's just Shingo, like he's gonna have bagger matches. Nothing is different. So then you take your guy who gives you arguably the best matches all the time. You hamstring him by now he's got to have stupid stipulations at all time and he has to carry around a dumb trophy and pretend it looks cool. Like I don't get it at all. Yeah. I was like, really? I don't know.
That shouldn't be on a dude who was the world champion less than 6 months ago.
Yeah, and so let's not forget the fucking world champion now invented the shit. That was all his idea. Now he's fucked off and pretended like it's not his issue. But he was like, yeah, it's gonna be this, and then he was like, I'm getting out of here. This is fucked. Like, you know. So
well, maybe that's what the KO and KOPW stands for, Kazuchika Okada.
I think it did.
We all assumed it was King of Pro Wrestling, but
have they ever said it's King of Pro Wrestling, or do they just call it?
No, they just called it the KOPW.
That's hilarious. It probably does stand for.
What would the other two letters stand for? Is Kazuchika Okada
Pro Wrestling
presents wastefulness?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Wasted
times. Yeah, but I'm concerned just because. Yeah, I feel like Shingo always delivers great matches, and now he's going to have to do dumb shit all the time.
Yeah,
unless they start doing cool stipulations, but I severely doubt it.
Yeah, Taichi definitely was the guy who should have been having those goofy, fun matches. Like, Taichi can make me laugh in the middle of a match and yet still have a banger match. Like, Yano makes me laugh, but he's not putting on bangers. Yeah. So, like, exactly. I don't know. I think if you wanted to add a bit of seriousness to the trophy or just a bit of prestige, giving it to someone like Taichi was the move.
Yeah.
And maybe he'll be like Yano and just kind of find his way back to it over and over again. I don't know. I definitely think putting it on Shingo was definitely the wrong choice.
Yeah, I hope it finds its way to getting lost in Shingo's luggage and nobody ever sees it again. But it's fine.
Fucking falls out of his pocket when he
Shingo's like, I don't know what to tell you guys. I checked it. I know I'm not supposed to check it, but it's not a title, so it went in the check luggage. And when I unzipped the bag, it just wasn't there anymore.
It's about 100 yen for a new one, but they don't really want to put out the money for it.
Let's just scrap it. Nobody really. Yeah. And then the 100 yen was a bit too much to. Yeah, let's hope that's the case. That's best case scenario. Did you also see the interaction between Okada and Naito before that. Like, so after their multi-man tag, did you see their little interaction in the ring?
I don't think so. What are you talking about?
So they had a 6-man tag earlier on that show, and there was a bit of a fun interaction. So LIJ wins, Naito rolls up Yano or something like that. It's very exciting. But then after the bell, Naito's in the ring, a wave. Okada gets in and stares him down, and they're like, oh, it's the champion and the challenger. They're getting in there so everybody can get their pictures and stuff. And then, Naito puts up the LIJ fist, and Okada puts up, and they're like, oh, that's good sportsmanship, yeah, kind of thing. And then Okada grabs his hand and goes for the Rainmaker. Naito ducks, turns around, kicks him in the balls as hard as he can, then hits him with a Destino, gleefully hits him with a Destino, and then poses over him. So I just thought it was fun because New Japan don't always do that kind of stuff. They don't normally have physicality. The champion and challenger
Outside
sort of
the
brawling.
ring.
Yeah, exactly. They normally just, they'll kind of give each other a look and walk away, and the match is going to happen. But they actually got physical with each other, and both were kind of being dickheads. Okada went for the cheap shot, and then, like always, Naito's always a better dickhead than anybody else, and out dickheaded him.
Well, speaking of the champion and the challenger the challenger attacking the champion outside of a match, did you see who was talking on Twitter to Naito today? Yeah. So Naito was saying like, "Oh, I'm gonna finally raise that belt inside of a dome, and I'm gonna finish my roll call." And Kenta's like, "Noted." We're gonna run back 2020.
Oh no!
And Kenta's gonna come and attack Naito in the middle of his roll call.
Fuck! I think he maybe physically can't do that. I think isn't his like fucking body shattered at the moment.
Well, that was like 4 months ago. So who knows? Maybe he's better by now.
Yeah, when his legs like hanging off or something, his hip was completely destroyed. And either way, if he's better, but that's fun. Kenta's always great on Twitter.
I love Kenta. He's so great. I did remark in the retro review on Smart Foundation podcast, which is something we do every episode. You should check it out. We were reviewing a Jeff Hardy versus Triple H versus Edge match from like 2008, and I had to throw in a thing about how I wasn't watching at that point because I was just really watching Noah and Ring of Honor to watch Kenta matches.
Yeah.
I love Kenta.
Yeah,
anyway.
I missed his glory days. So for me, like when Kenta came in, it was all like, dude, you don't even know Kenta's coming. This is going to be sick. And it took a long time for me to care about him, like, because I was trying to, slow down a lot. When I first saw him, he was like Hideo Itami in NXT. You know what I mean? So,
that run was so bad.
It was
He
painful.
fucked himself up.
Yeah, it wasn't great. Towards the end of his role, his run in NXT, he got a little bit more interesting when he came back from the injury and he was wearing the suits and stuff and doing the GTS and things like that. I remember one promo, he was like, I just kicked you in the head with my suckless loafers. And I thought that was pretty funny. But yeah, and that, I guess that kind of douchey sort of persona led to sort of who he is now. But yeah, I always really like him, his swagger and his look and his talking and all that kind of stuff. I haven't had heaps of matches in New Japan from him that I have really liked. I think all the other stuff is way more for me, and then he had never really delivered in the ring until probably that match with Tanahashi that injured him, which is that hardcore match at the Dome, which made me come to really respect him, and he went above and beyond in that match, and it was pretty amazing.
Brother, have I got some stuff to show you? Oh my goodness! If you don't know 2008 through 2011 Kenta, you got some shit coming to you, man. I'm gonna start sending you links, brother. You got time? You got 7 days off from COVID. I'm gonna sit you down in front of YouTube, my friend.
Well, I mean, I know of him because nobody will shut the fuck up about it, but I'm not really want to go out of my way heaps unless like he needs to make me want to, You know what I mean? Like that's where I am with wrestling at the moment. It's been the theme of this podcast, and since I've known you, and whenever I talk New Japan, I'm like, make me care about anything. You know what I mean? So I'm like, it's on Kenta to make me that fucking hype that I'm like diving into his back catalogue. You know, I'm not going to just live in his glory days, but I'll check out some stuff. I'm always up for it. I mean, everybody must carry on about it so much for a reason, right?
Oh man, there was just a time when like Kenta and Danielson and Austin Aries were just like having match after match after match together to try and just establish who was the true ace of Ring of Honor. Man, that was it, dude. It was so good. But this isn't a Ring of Honor podcast. No. We have one of those on the Count Out Wrestling Network. If you'd like to listen to Pure,
he knows what's going on. Look at him.
Yeah, dude.
Just Count Out.
But
shirt.
Yeah, we're talking New Japan today. So
yeah. Let's talk about Windy City Riot.
I mean, fuck Fight App, right? Just fuck it, right in its face.
You and I had this conversation, and I didn't think fuck Fight because I use Fight to watch a lot of stuff, and it's totally fine. I believe the onus is on the people putting on the show, you know, and the resources that they give to it. Because Fight's just a streaming platform. The problem is that they're probably doing it with like shitty internet and 2 cameras and doing a bad job as far as that goes. I would say, first of all, fuck New Japan for not just putting it on New Japan World. You have a perfectly good streaming platform that works great, that you do all your stuff, but I understand they may be trying to get more, you know, American viewers, and they think maybe they'd get more through Fight, and they also think, you know, maybe we can get an extra payday by, you know, our existing fans will then buy it to watch it, you know, when it comes out and to watch it live. So fuck that, because people are already paying a lot of money to the streaming service to watch it. So you're punishing your existing fans. And then 2, you don't give the resources over to then do it well, which is shit, you know? So I when we talk about problems with it, I haven't watched it, and it's a show I really want to watch, because I refuse to just pay more money. I'm not going to pay like $30 extra to see something that I'm going to see on an existing platform that I've subscribed to for years to watch it, you know? And I think if instead of fucking about and like doing the Fight thing and stuff and, you know, doing a bad job of it and not really achieving what you want in the first place, maybe put more money into upgrading your existing app, making it easier for Western fans to download it onto their phone, like because the New Japan World is still just a website, and though I've kind of got like an icon on my, you know, my phone and stuff like that, it's not really like an accessible app. Invest that money into that. Make it like, hey, Western fans, want to watch New Japan World? 1 click, sign up with your credit card, and you've got access to the full thing just in an app, the same as you would do with, like, you know, WWE Network. I don't know whether it still is or not. I mean, it used to be just an app or whatever. Just make it easy for people. But instead, they piss about, they do this bullshit, and then they don't even do it well, and then everybody gets mad, and then people won't subscribe to the next one, and they fuck themselves over. Like, they've done this stuff before. It's annoying. Like, it's not even the first time they've done it. Like,
I think you're right. And the sad thing is that some of these New Japan Strong shows, these New Japan of America pay-per-views that they've had that have been on Fight, I've never really noticed it before because they always had them streaming with Japanese commentary on the World. So I've just been watching with Japanese commentary on World because it's like, I already pay for this. Like you said, why should I go out of my way to pay extra when I can watch it for free? And, you know, granted, I won't be hearing Kevin Kelly, but I've watched New Japan for literal decades without American comms.
Yeah.
So it's not a big deal. It does make things like Strong, which don't always have the best production value, and definitely this show, look kind of rinky dink. You know, it makes it look very, what's the word I'm looking for? Low rent, I guess.
And when you're putting big stars on it, like you're putting a John Moxley on it, hoping that Western fans, AEW fans of John Moxley will tune in and check it out. So then if you're going to spend that money on him and have him there, you then, and that's investing in, them seeing like a Will Osprey and being like, wow, that guy's an amazing wrestler. Like, if you're going to do that, you then need to capitalize on it. You can't seem Bush League because then they won't spend the money. They just spent like $30 to watch this, and it's like, fraught with tragedy. And it doesn't need to look super shiny and high end like an AEW feed does. What it needs to do is work, and not go offline and and those kind of things. Like, you can have and there's things you can do without spending heaps of money to make a show look quality, and then, so I'm just going to bring it back to independent wrestling for a second. Have you heard me speak about ETU wrestling before? Expect the Unexpected Wrestling?
I have.
Yes.
So I listened to it on the Faces and Feels podcast, available on this very platform you downloaded right now.
I put him up, he slams them down. This is how we work. It's just symbiosis here. But these are shows put on by my friend and mentor, The Struggles, longtime podcaster, full-time commentator now, and then has now started his own company. And he's done 2 shows now. And he didn't have some huge, ridiculous budget to do these things. He put them on IWTV. He had contacts there, and he puts it on that. And the first thing he looked at, he goes, okay, so I need to make sure all my cameras and stuff are right, which is something that IWTV can help with. But you know what? New Japan can help itself with that. They own all the equipment. And then the second thing I'm going to look at is lighting. And that's a big part of my budget. And if you watch those shows, I'm sure you could Google them on YouTube if you looked up ETU Wrestling and looked at A Match, or even if you have IWTV, you can load up those shows. The venue he uses is one that is used quite a lot on IWTV. It's nothing special. It comes with a ring. It's just a basic, lodge hall type scenario. But his shows look different from everybody else's because he's put the ring in the center, which is what you do. But then he had them do the artwork for his shows is like, the first one was like a lime green kind of thing. So all the lighting along the back walls and stuff is green. And then on the second show, it was purple artwork, so that it's like a kind of purple thing. And just simple little things like that. But it makes the show have its own flavor and stand out and look professional immediately. How a company like New Japan that put on dome shows and stuff can't figure this shit out, I don't even know. Just invest a little bit of resources in the actual visual product, and then the rest of the money, just, I don't know, put it all into internet. I don't know. I'm not a streaming guy, but just make internet work. That's all you need to do. Mm-hmm. Some basic lighting. You don't need huge backdrops. You get your talent there. You make sure you've got a ring. Internet. And then bandwidth. I'm not a scientist. I don't know how internet works, but people do. And then if you just make internet work, then that's it. That's the end of the fucking recipe.
And I think that's gonna be the lesson that they're gonna have to learn, especially with the next show coming up being Forbidden Door. They're gonna be using AEW's, satellites and whatever, AEW's production and things like that.
Yeah, exactly.
It's gonna look really good, really professional right away.
Is the difference that they did Windy City on Wi-Fi, and they should have just had one of those blue cables that you plug into the back? The click. I've got my router here, and it plugs directly into my computer, and that always works better than if I got it on my phone out there. Did somebody just not plug in the blue cable? That's all I'm asking. I don't even know what it's called. That's how bad I am at computers. Internet cable in the camera solve all the problems for Windy City? Somebody not do that?
Someone didn't buy the right adapter for the Japanese to American adapter.
We've got the big one, but then there's that smaller one, and the Japanese stuff uses that. We're fucked. We're just gonna have to run the Wi-Fi, boys. Rocky Romero's I'm gonna hotspot off my phone. Hang on 1 second, guys. I'm just gonna get it going, and he puts on the hotspot
activated.
They hotspot off Rocky's phone. He doesn't have great reception, and there
he only had 3 bars. He only had 3 bars, man. It wasn't good.
Yeah, exactly.
And he was running out of data. He had to go in. He only had two more gigs of data before he had to start paying overages.
Yeah, exactly. And that's when it started to shape him and things started going really pear-shaped on the Fight app.
Oh, man. So, okay.
Anyway, it's breaking.
At least we know the next one's going to be better.
Well, it's 100% going to be better because, like, that's what I mean about fuck Fight. AEW have been on Fight since the start, and there's never been an issue one time. You know, like, it just works. Like, I don't know what to tell you. I never have an issue with it. So, yeah, they put the money into the internet. I don't know.
Maybe it was that Fight comes with like a certain level of like camera and cameraman and technology, and you can upgrade past that maybe, but they just didn't. They were like, well, let's spend the money on Moxley instead.
Yeah, well, I don't think they would have like paid Fight for camera. Like, I feel like they'd be like, we've already got camera to do strong. Let's just put him in this building and then go with that. You know,
I wonder if they just rent all that equipment, because I know when they were with Ring of Honor years ago, they used to just use Ring of Honor's setup, and Ring of Honor always had really class stuff because they were a subsidiary from Sinclair Broadcasting.
Yeah.
So like the actual television, Sinclair Broadcasting would have good television output. And now that they're not using Ring of Honor stuff anymore, maybe they're just renting shit, and they just rented a really low rent facility in Chicago or something like that. It has to be something like that.
It's probably something like that. Either that or they're not renting it, but they're like using the old stuff that they used to have. They're like, just ship it over from Japan and we'll just use whatever we had laying around, you know, as we've upgraded stuff.
Yeah, where's this from? 2004?
Yeah.
It's fine.
Exactly. And it's funny because the Japanese people are known for their tech and like, you know, developing new things and being cutting edge with that kind of stuff. But they are also, and I know this from being there multiple times, very traditional. Like, they'll be like, it's fine. Just use the thing that we've used for 30 years. It'll be fine. And so that kind of doesn't surprise me that it wouldn't even be a priority for them. You know, like, it'd just be like, oh, we've got cameras. Just use those. And Rocky's like, oh, fuck.
Those are the cameras they used to use when they were filming Cops. So those aren't very good.
They're not. Yeah, so maybe as well, part of the appeal of the deal with AEW coming up. I mean, there'd be a couple of things. I think AEW buying Ring of Honor would have helped this happen because New Japan is very loyal. And Ring of Honor still existed. They weren't doing much, but they would be like, as long as Ring of Honor exists, they're our dudes. And then, so Tony Khan becomes Ring of Honor. They're like, oh, sweet. Well, that takes away the moral quandary. No worries here. And then two, oh, great. We've got access to all that good camera stuff again instead of, you know, using whatever stuff we had laying around / have been renting on the cheap.
Good point.
Yeah.
I'm really glad that it's all coming together to form some sort of like Leviathan corpse collector presentation. We've just got all the horrible, you know, Frankenstein together federations, and it's just going to be so much fun to watch.
It is going to be fun. I'm very excited to see this pay-per-view. I think it's going to be awesome. I'm really interested to see how they sort of book it as well, whether it just reads like a one-off super show or if they're going to start to tell sort of ongoing stories, you know.
I bet you we're going to see quite a few New Japan representatives on AEW television within the next few weeks.
Yeah.
Quite a few, especially because the Best of Super Juniors starts soon. So while the heavyweights aren't exactly needed, I think you're going to start seeing a bunch of them pop up here and remember what it's like to wrestle in front of people that can actually make noise.
Yeah, exactly. They're going to start to show out. And yeah, that's actually a really good point. It's great timing for them to be doing this. It's essentially the, you know, heavyweight off season, or at least about to be. And so it's a real good time for them to be out there doing different stuff.
Definitely. I'm very excited for the future. It's going to be so much fun.
Yeah.
Do we want to go ahead and, you know, we're already talking about Forbidden Door. Do we want to go ahead and play our game right now?
Yeah, let's do best case, worst case, Forbidden Door.
All right. Let's do best case scenario first. I think we're going to have more fun with worst case scenario.
Yeah, exactly. We'll go through all the obvious talking points that, everybody's thinking deep inside their minds. Who could it be? What's it going to be? What are some of the dream matchups that we could see? Do you want to start at the bottom of the card or at the top of the card? I haven't really written a card. I've just sort of written a collection of matches. You know what I mean? So I didn't really write it like
first one. My first one that I put was like the world heavyweight title match, that sort of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Those are the ones that I filled out first. Those are the big ones that everyone's thinking about right away.
Yeah.
And then I kind of filled in like what would be the opening match? What would be, the one directly after the concessions break and things like that.
Well, that's fun. We can workshop that. I didn't kind of attack it like I was writing the card. Because we were kind of just saying, four best and four worst. So I just kind of put like a selection of dream matches. But let's write the card right now. But let's start from the top.
I did six best case scenarios.
You're the one that set the fucking rules, and then you're cheating on me. The good news is I actually wrote 8 best. I also cheated.
Okay. Well, here's the thing. At the end of this, we're going to set our card, what we think would be the best case scenario. We can only use each wrestler once. Yeah. So we're either going to have to, if we use the same wrestler, we're either going to have to take your choice or my choice.
Yeah. Or they may be the same choice. So, but let's start at the top and let's write the card. So how many matches do you think we would have on the card?
I think we would have 8 matches. I think we'll have 4 before the break and 4 after.
Okay, then let's do that. We're going to do 8 matches starting at the top. My top build match, I would think, for me would be Okada versus Danielson. Now, most people would say title versus title or something like that, but to me, that is the match. Whether they would do it on this show or not, I'm not really interested in. I'm saying best case, and for me, that is the number one match I would want to see in the world.
Absolutely. That's the same one I have. That's my number one, first one that I saw. The second this was announced, that's the one I wanted on my show, Smart Foundation. I think I said that on our predictions episode. That was the episode after you were guesting on there. I said I wanted Danielson versus Okada. Uh-huh. I thought they'd originally get to it with Danielson in the G1, but we can do it this way too. I'm fine with it. I want sometime in 2022, Danielson versus Okada.
Yep. And in your mind, in your dream card of Forbidden Door, is that a title match?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So IWGP World Title.
Sekai Hebikyu.
Yeah. Okada versus Ryan Danielson. Okay, cool. No worries. All right, you go next. What's number 2? Lucky number 2.
AEW World Title match.
I love
Tetsuya Naito.
I love that. I love that we've got the IWGP title above the AEW title.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, that's
all right.
Hot. Okay.
AEW World Title match, Tetsuya Naito versus CM Punk.
Okay, so yeah, a little bit of fantasy booking there for the next AEW event. You're having CM Punk take the title from Hangman Page, setting up Naito versus CM Punk.
Yes.
I knew you were going to say that. I didn't even write it because I knew that you would already do it.
This is the fucking move. This is the match that like I want to see, because Punk's fiery storytelling with Naito's laid back character who can Naito's ability to lay out a match is second to none. The dude's an absolute genius. When you add on top of that his laid back attitude that can get under people's skin, and then you take CM Punk, who's so good at telling a story and who has that fiery nature, these two are going to get on like a house of fire. It's going to be amazing watching Naito get under Punk's skin and watching Punk fire up because of it. Oh my god. Oh, yeah. I'm nerding out right now over that.
You're ready. Now that's great. Next up, now that we're laying out all the title matches, the next one should probably be the ROH title, but that's not what I'm going to say.
Okay.
We can duck back into that, but I'm going to say Ring of Honor television title match, Samoa Joe versus Shingo Takagi. Bitch.
Ooh. Ooh. Didn't Samoa Joe lose the title?
No,
No, he won it from Minoru Suzuki, didn't he? Okay, sorry.
He did.
Okay.
Imagine Shingo versus Samoa Joe, and then shut your mouth because it's the best thing that you'll ever hear.
Yes, please. 2 scoops.
Yeah, that would. I'm just like, even though technically, like, I guess they've got Samoa Joe rocking in the ROH brand. He's definitely regularly appearing on AEW TV. He's an AEW wrestler, you know, and him versus Shingo to me would be right up there, right next to Okada and Danielson, a match that I would love to see.
Okay. So speaking of ROH titles.
You got a match for Gresham?
No. FTR versus Dangerous Tekkers.
Oh, I had that one too.
Fuck yeah, you did.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I like it when we agree.
Yeah, exactly. ROH tag title. Yeah, that is a great choice. I hadn't thought about it. Because we weren't, like, when I was doing it, I was just doing matches, so I wasn't thinking about titles. But if we're just doing titles, if I'm gonna book a match for Jonathan Gresham as the Ring of Honor champion against a New Japan roster member, who is it gonna be? I think it's gonna be a couple of choices here. Curtis is looking at me like he has an expectation of what I'm gonna say.
I'm racking my brain as well, because, like, I mean, okay. So do you go the route where you want to grab someone who's a technical wizard, or do you go the route where you want to try and play off of strengths versus weaknesses? You know, do you want to go Kurt Angle versus Chris Benoit, or do you want to go Kurt Angle versus Rey Mysterio?
Yeah,
you know,
I think
because both of those are great.
Yeah, they are great. Maybe I'm going to change that.
Okay, yeah, let's not go with Gresham yet if we can't think of it.
Is it Gresham versus Jay White?
Ooh. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. Jay White going back to try and conquer Ring of Honor where he spent his excursion. That would be great.
Because you could see him then, like, taking it and carrying on about it and stuff. I feel like that could be interesting. And I feel like maybe more interesting than the match that I had fantasy booked Jay White into originally.
Okay, what was your original choice for Jay White?
I had Jay White versus Hangman Page.
I like Jay White versus Gresham more for the ROH title. I think there's a story you can tell about him going back to take that belt from revenge for his excursion.
Yeah. Okay, then let's do that then. All right, on to you.
All right. Wild card special singles match. Eddie Kingston versus Shibata.
That would be sick. Isn't he already booked though? Is him and Ishii for that show?
They haven't announced anything for the show yet.
Oh, I thought so. Him and Ishii is happening before that.
I hadn't heard anything about him and Ishii. I thought the card hadn't been announced at all yet.
Oh, maybe that's a fever dream by me. I know he's fighting Ishii. I thought it was at Forbidden Door. I thought it was the only match announced, but maybe it's just in general because Ishii is in the US at the moment.
What do you got next?
Anyway, yeah, this is our fantasy booking, so that is completely killer, and I have no problem with it. Next, I have Will Osprey versus the returning Kenny Omega.
We all want it, but I'm gonna put one down instead.
Yeah, okay, I'm open to it.
Will Osprey versus Pac.
Okay. You think that would be a better match than him and Omega?
Now that you say it.
Now we say it out loud.
I'm not 100% sold on Will Osprey versus Pac now that you've put Kenny Omega back in. I know that they've been they've been teasing it on Twitter for so long, and we've all been tickled by it, and we've all been ready for so long. It sounds so good. Yeah. It sounds so good. Let's go for it.
They have not really had like a big match at all. I'm trying to remember if they've versed each other, like just even in a G1 or something like that. If they did, it wasn't Will Ospreay of today.
No, it wasn't Will Ospreay today. It wouldn't have been Kenny Omega of today either. They never faced each other in a G1 because Kenny left before Ospreay jumped up to the G1. I'm trying to think if maybe they crossed in a best of the Super Juniors or anything. I don't think so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No, I think that Kenny basically did the jump before Ospreay really made his way up to New Japan, and then as far as I remember, I don't think they've ever crossed paths in a singles match.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that Kenny's sort of departure opened the gate for Osprey to step into that next level as well. So yeah, I think that would be literally crazy. How many more are we going to do here?
I've only got one more written down, so why don't you do a couple more?
Okay. I've got two more that we could play with. I've got El Desperado versus Wheeler Yuta.
Okay. Now I'm going to see your El Desperado versus Wheeler Yuta, and I'm going to raise you El Desperado versus Red Death Daniel Garcia.
Okay, I'm going to raise you that, and I'm going to go a fatal four-way for the junior heavyweight, and it's going to be El Desperado, Wheeler Yuta, Daniel Garcia, and then my fourth one, I'm booking this on the fly, a returning Kushida.
Yes.
Yeah, is that it? Is that it? It was almost Hiromu, but then I thought about Kushida coming back, and I was like, that'd be pretty epic.
Yes. Also, Hiromu could have a special singles match somewhere else with something like that. I think that would be the shit. Oh my God. Imagine the nonsense they could get up to.
Like imagine that opening match. Like they're so good at those junior four ways. Imagine opening the show with that.
Oh my
Desperado
God.
comes out as champion last, all in that white.
Oh, you get your money right there.
Yep.
You get your money for that match. So that was my final one, was Daniel Garcia versus El Desperado. So I'm completely open to whatever else you got to lay on me here.
I guess the other dream match that a lot of people and kind of been hinted at would be Tanahashi versus Moxley. But I mean, I don't terribly care about that. So we could, how many matches are we at? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're at 8 now. So
what is Hiromu doing?
Well, that's the thing, right? Currently nothing on our card.
Well, let's figure something out for Hiromu. Let's look at the AEW roster as it stands today.
Well, we don't have Hangman Page on this.
Well, we could definitely do Hangman Page versus Hiromu Takahashi.
That would
how's that strike your fancy?
Interesting, but it doesn't feel like a match they would actually do.
No, not really. What about a Hiromu versus like Sammy Guevara?
I'd rather not see Sammy Guevara on my dream card.
That's fair. That's absolutely fair.
You know what? This is our dream card, though. I guess we could shoehorn in a couple of people. Like, we've got the ROH tag titles. Would you rather see ROH tag titles, Tekkers versus FTR, or would you rather go like a four-way tag and have like Tekkers, FTR, Bucks, Jurassic Express?
No, I think that'd be too much. Let's keep the 2v2.
You know what? This is our dream card. This isn't what's actually going to happen. So let's just stick it with what we've got. We've got IWGP title, Okada versus Danielson. AW title, Naito versus CM Punk. Ring of Honor title, Gresham versus Jay White. Ring of Honor TV title. This turned into an ROH show real fucking fast. Samoa Joe versus Shingo Takagi. ROH tag titles, Tekkers versus FTR. Special singles match, Kingston versus Shibata. Special singles match, Osprey versus Omega. IWGP Junior Heavyweight title, Fatal 4-Way, El Desperado versus Daniel Garcia versus Wheeler Yuta versus Kushida. That is a banging card.
It is. And I think I just figured out where Hiromu slots into this.
Mm-hmm. Fatal 5.
One resource we haven't tapped yet. Hiromu versus one member of the House of Black, be it Buddy Matthews or Malachi Black. I think either one of those would be really good. I think Buddy Matthews versus Hiromu would be fantastic.
That would be cool. And that gives you the opportunity as well you could trot out a couple more people, like Hiromu could come out with and have, Bushi with him in full dress and, an injured Sonata with him, and then, the House of Black could be there as well. So it's kind of like LIJ versus House of Black, but only two guys are wrestling.
I'm into it.
Yeah, that's hot.
I'm into it.
All right.
Yeah, let's do Hiromu and Bushi versus, or Hiromu and Sonata versus Malachi and Buddy Matthews?
Brody King. If Sonata's in it, I want Brody King in it.
Yeah, let's do all three. Let's do Bushi, Hiromu.
Let's just do LIJ versus House of Black. Fuck it.
Done.
Boom. Okay, there we go. Versus HOB. Bang. That is a banging best case scenario for us. But in reality, I don't know if they'll have all the Ring of Honor shit that we've got in there at the moment. It's like 90% Ring of Honor stuff, which, you know what, that shows the value. They don't need to put the belt up.
They just need to feature the wrestlers.
Well, that is true. That shows just there what Tony Khan bought. You know what I mean? Ring of Honor, like the brand has so much value. They just weren't doing anything with it. And then the moment you put that spark back in it, bang, look at those matchups. We don't even have the Briscoes on here. Oh, imagine the Briscoes. Ring of Honor tag title, Tekkers versus FTR versus Briscoes. No, we're reining it in. See, so this is Forbidden Door too. You got to keep it.
Now you're saying FTR versus Tekkers versus Briscoes versus the United Empire.
You could just do another tag match. You could do United Empire versus Briscoes for the New Japan tag.
I'm into that. I think that would. I think that'd be fantastic.
That's pretty hot. All right, we're throwing that in too. Fuck it. Okay.
Yeah, fuck it.
IWGP tag. Okay. Bang. That is hot. We're not doing the Nevers. We're not defending the Nevers. We're not defending the TV. This is what we want. So that's totally fine. We're
KOPW.
Special KOPW title for title match with Samoa Joe, Shingo Takagi. That would be a nightmare.
Loser has to fit their own head up their butt match.
Jesus Christ. Okay, then. Cool. That is hot. We'll run these down at the end. Okay, best case scenario is locked down. Lock it in, Curtis. Worst case scenario.
Oh, man.
I have dreamt up some sweet, sweet nightmares for you. My headlining match is like the venue would be burnt down.
Oh, please hit me. Hit me with your first one. Let's go.
Oh, you know what? Let's just start hot and we'll lead to it. So, AEW title match. Title for title. AEW title versus never open weight title. CM Punk versus Evil. Evil wins in Chicago after interference from House of Torture. I couldn't even get it out of laughing too much.
Oh my God. Oh, that sounds so awful.
In Chicago, takes the title, becomes double champion a second time in an AEW ring in Chicago, defeating CM Punk.
Merges the belts.
First defense from CM Punk. Merges the belt.
Merges the belts.
AEW open weight title.
Rid of the big platinum belt.
Oh.
Gets rid of that beautiful AEW title.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful nightmare.
Oh my God. That's
some evil booking, eh? That's some, even just putting it out into the universe is like, when like they say you shouldn't even talk about demons because then demons see you,
Yeah.
That's what it's like.
Tony, if you're listening, and I know you are, please turn the podcast off.
Do not listen to anything we have to say. Tell me you've got something more evil than that.
I don't know if I went with like fun, like things that would be terrible fun.
Oh no, I was trying to ruin your life with
that's pretty bad. Here we go. Ryusuke Taguchi versus Michael Nakazawa.
Oh, fuck.
So Taguchi's getting his ass out. Nakazawa's covered in baby oil. It's gay sex. They start banging right there.
I love that you've also got this as the second last match before the title match. And fucking Michael Nakazawa doesn't even really wrestle anymore. He's never doing anything. Oh, that is fire. Oh my god.
In it though?
Oh my god, that's so bad. Okay.
What else you got?
All right. Hook making his pay-per-view debut versus Chase Owens. Chase Owens wins clean with the package pile driver and a 5 count in under a minute.
Oh no.
The handsome, cold-hearted, handsome devil Hook loses to one of the people that's never made any effort to take care of his appearance in any way, very quickly and very deliberately.
I'm sure he covers his face in the pictures he sends out to the... No, I'm not going to say it.
Jesus Christ.
Sorry. Talking about his appearance. Anyway, my next one. Just Gun Club versus Gorillas of Destiny. I don't know why that would be so
Vagina's wrestling.
Yes,
it's 3.
exactly.
It's a 6-man. It's 3-on-3.
It's a 6-man, 3-on-3. So you've got 58-year-old Billy Gunn, who's, you know, still a mountain of a man and sculpted like an Adonis, versus 58-year-old Jado,
Who is not.
who looks like someone's dad. Oh no.
Oh no. That's a nightmare. Okay then. All right. Next I've got House of Torture, Dick Togo, Sho, and Yujiro versus Dan Lambert, Scorpio Sky, and Ethan Page with as many MMA people as they can get at ringside, with Lambert yelling over the mic literally the entire time.
That's so much better than what I had. I was just thinking House of Torture versus Dark Order. And
that'd
Brody
be good.
Lee's
Then you're putting good
wins.
wrestlers on the card.
Yeah. Oh man.
That's
that yours is better.
Who you got next?
Oh no. It's not just Dan Lambert yelling. It's Dan Lambert and Chris Jericho yelling back and forth at each other. That would be the absolute worst case scenario.
Why
right
is
there.
Chris Jericho there? He takes up for the House of Torture.
Shit.
Yeah, exactly. God, they were. Yeah, it was. God, I hate it. Okay.
Yeah. My final one.
Uh-huh.
Loser has to give a shit match.
Okay.
Orange Cassidy versus Sonata.
Yeah, that'd be bad. And yeah, it's even like, take me back 2 months or something like that, and that would be maybe one of my worst case scenarios. But I've actually come around to Sonata a little bit. But yeah, I think that is a great one. Give a shit on a pole match.
Give a shit on a pole. Yeah. The thing is, like, Sonata needs someone to pull him out of it, and I don't know if with his current character, if Orange Cassidy would be the person to pull a good match out of Sonata.
Yeah, I don't know if that's the case. All right. Well, you had stolen Taguchi, and I was using him for another thing. So let's do this instead. Let's go. Instead of, I was going to use Team 6 or 9 for this, but it's actually made me get even more evil and think of something. Let's go Yano and Tenzan versus Sammy Guevara and Ty Conti. Just because I hate to see them.
Oh, that's fair.
Yeah.
Oh my God. That sounds awful.
I actually like Yano,
though.
Yano needs to come out of that match. I need to think of somebody better to team with Tenzan.
Togi Makabe.
Oh, yeah, it's Makabe. There you go. Okay.
Oh, make it Makabe and Hanma.
No,
I
like Honma. I like Honma. He makes me laugh with his croaky voice, and he tries so hard. I want this to be an irredeemable card, so it's going to be Tenzan. Honma had shit on that day. Okay. So,
Tenzan and Togi Makabe.
All right, let's run them back. Let's run them back for everybody. So, our worst case scenario for Forbidden Door is AEW title versus New Japan Openweight title for title match. Evil versus CM Punk, with Evil picking up the win and uniting the titles into the AEW Openweight title. Taguchi versus Nakazawa in an, I guess, oil match. I don't know what that is. Hook's pay-per-view debut versus Chase Owens. Chase winning clean with a package pile driver and a 5 count under a minute.
Absolutely domination.
Absolute domination. Hook doesn't stand a chance. Then we've got Gun Club versus GOD 6-man tag.
We can make that for the never 6-mans if you want to.
Oh, yeah, sure. It doesn't matter who actually holds them, but sure. GOD have picked him up at some point. Never 6. Let's do that. Then we've got Dick Togo, Sho, and Yujiro of the House of Torture versus Dan Lambert, Scorpio Sky, and Ethan Page, and Paige
Van Zandt and Fedor Emelianenko.
Yeah, company of MMA losers.
Frank Mir.
Yeah, with a lot of Dan Lambert promo yelling. Then
Chris Jericho.
Oh, Chris Jericho's there for some reason. Then Sonata versus Orange Cassidy in the loser gives a fuck match. Then we've got Togi Makabe and Tenzan versus Sammy Guevara and Ty Conti.
I don't know why that's so bad.
Just because Sammy Guevara and Ty Conti, I just don't need to see them, like, in my eyes, ever.
How do you fucking shit on what he was building? He was getting so like over as a baby face. People were really starting to believe in him. And then he breaks up with Chris Jericho and he goes his own way. And then all of a sudden he's like, hey, I got a pretty girlfriend now. Oh, I got a belt too. Yeah. Everyone's like, man, fuck you.
People are going to want to see it. But see, the thing about Sammy Guevara is, at the end of the day, he's a pretty hateable dude. You know what I mean? He's
so much better as a heel.
Yeah, he's got like an annoying face. He's not terribly likable. He's done questionable things in the past. He busts up with his missus, and like who he was engaged to, and then is with Ty Conti. And timelines and stuff don't matter, but in the public eye, it's like, oh, okay, you left your wife or your wife to be, and now you're with this annoying person, and you guys are rubbing it in everybody's faces, and you're constantly making out on camera, and you're talking about like having sex on the belt and shit. Like, I was like, who is supposed to be the bad guy here? Because Dan Lambert's one of the most unlikable people I've ever met, but I like Scorpio Sky, and then I'm like, so who's the bad guy? Once that stuff started to happen, they just needed to like drop Dan Lambert out of Scorpio Sky's life. Like when I guess Sammy won it back questionably or whatever. And then they were going into the match this week. And I'm like, do not have Dan Lambert with Scorpio Sky. Just have him say, I'm coming for it. And then he'll just be the biggest babyface ever just because he's versing Sammy. But then they keep him with Dan Lambert and he's talking and shit. And I'm like, so I guess we just hate everybody? Like, is what's going on?
Yeah. I mean, you can do heel on heel, but like, maybe one of them's like he's a heel, but they do face versus face and heel versus heel in New Japan all the time, but always one of them falls into the dynamic a little bit. Okada and Naito, they're both technically faces, but like Naito is going to be a bit of a heelish rogue, or Okada plays that cocky asshole and things like that. You can do it. You can do a heel versus heel match and just have one be, a little bit more by the book, I guess. Still a heel, a hateable guy, but he's not exactly like, an asshole.
Yeah, exactly. It was like, I didn't understand the point of it. I don't care about the TV title at all, which is why it didn't make it onto our best case list. So running down the best case one last time because it'll make us feel fuzzy as we move on to the next thing. It's the IWGP World Title match. Okada versus Bryan Danielson. It's the AEW title. Naito versus CM Punk. It is the Ring of Honor title, Gresham versus Jay White. It is the Ring of Honor TV title, Samoa Joe versus Shingo Takagi. It is the IWGP Tag Titles, the United Empire versus the Briscoes.
Love it.
It is the Ring of Honor Tag Titles, Dangerous Tekkers versus FTR. It is a special singles match, Eddie Kingston versus Shibata. It is a special singles match, Will Ospreay versus Kenny Omega. It is a 6-man tag, LIJ versus House of Black. And it is the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Fatal 4-Way, El Desperado versus Red Death, Daniel Garcia versus Wheeler Yuta versus the returning Kushida.
I love that. I love that so much. Yeah, you can even sell it as like X, you know? Who's going to be the mystery opponent? Yeah.
Yeah, that is what they would do. X, and then brackets, Kushida. And that's it. How about that?
Do you remember that nightmare when Kushida came out at Wrestle Kingdom and he had that big giant head?
Yes.
That
haunts me to this day.
That was so cool.
Yeah, was that the one where like Taguchi was being Doc Brown or something? Or am I mashing two together?
No, that was two different ones together.
Yeah, I'm thinking about there's the baby. There's a baby Kushida, and then he becomes full size Kushida.
Yeah, that was fucking wild.
Yeah, I wonder if he'll just come back and be Time Splitter again, or if they'll let him do something else.
I think they wanted I was hearing talk that they wanted him to do something else. He's going to do like a sort of MMA fucking limb collector gimmick.
Okay,
which I'm into.
I'm up for it because they've done the Time Splitter for like a long time, and Time Splitter was sort of becoming that anyway, you know, like in his moveset and things like that. So I think he could just not have a Mighty McFly vest and it would be fine. Like,
yeah, I mean, just come out and do the gimmick that Show should have had when he went to the House of Torture.
Boom. That's what they should have done.
Yeah.
But here we are. So anyway, that was a lot of fun.
I love our best case scenario.
Doing worst case is really fun.
Doing worst case is really fun. But you know what else is really fun is Wrestling Dontaku. And that's coming up this weekend. So let's break it down, eh?
Yes.
See what we're most excited for and things like that. So here we go. The first match is going to be Shingo Takagi, Bushi, and X, where X is a mystery partner, versus Suzuki-gun, Taishi, Zack Sabre Jr., and Taka Michinoku. So this was originally supposed to be Tatsumi Fujinami, who unfortunately has tested positive for COVID.
Yeah.
Why were you making out with Tatsumi Fujinami?
Osprey.
Oh, it was Will Osprey. You were making out with Will Osprey, and then Will Osprey made out with Tatsumi Fujinami.
Yeah, that's what it was. I was meaning that they were making out with each other. I live in Australia, so I've never been near either of them. So I think I'm safe. But yeah, Will Osprey and Fujinami both came down with COVID. That's sad.
It's super sad, especially because Fujinami's like a bit of an older gentleman, so
yeah,
could play bloody hell on him.
Yeah,
I mean, this is the second time
he was super fit. I mean, he's fitter than me.
He is.
So yeah, hopefully he's fine.
And this is the second time that Osprey has had COVID.
Oh, really?
So yeah, he had COVID last year as well. So he had to
yeah. Well, I mean, he's out jet setting around the world, so I mean, it's it's the risk you take at the moment. Like, I'm sure he's fine. Like, he's probably like Rafe level COVID. Like, just a small wade into the cove. He's not neck deep.
Yeah,
exactly. So, what's your prediction?
Who do you
for
think?
X?
Who do you think this could be? I mean, well, it's too early for it to be Kushida because Kushida still got the 30-day no compete from WWE.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know who would be joining LIJ.
Do they use it to? I mean, it was kind of weird it being Fujinami with them, but like, do they use it just to bring in like another fun legend, or do they go, you know what, fuck it, we're going to debut a new member, Sonata's out? Boom.
I think, they definitely could bring someone back at this point. That would be awesome. I don't know, man. I'm excited to see because this is going to be a big show. I have a feeling that this is going to be a sneaky big show.
Yeah. Let's fantasy book then. If you could book a new member of LIJ, who would you book?
I see it because I think I want to bring back someone who's a young lion out on excursion right now.
Ah.
So maybe it's too early to bring back. It's too early to bring back any like because we just had Yuya and who else went on excursion recently? It doesn't matter. So it would have to be someone who's been on excursion for a while. I don't think that they would have Shooter come back as part of LIJ. I think that he would be probably Chaos, or I bet you he'd be Chaos. Maybe it was one of the LA Dojo boys, someone like a Clark Connors or Carl Fredericks. Maybe that would be cool. I could see Fredericks being like a member of LIJ. Like he's kind of you're making a face.
Well, the only thing I think he has in common with LIJ is that Bushi wears like a Native American headdress sometimes, and he has Native American heritage. I don't know if they necessarily like gel that well.
He's like a he's a DJ and stuff like that. He's got kind of a devil may care attitude.
He's a DJ and stuff. They bring him in and that's his gimmick. Like he's wearing headphones and shit.
I mean, what is Bushi's gimmick? Dolce and Gabbana and loser?
Yeah, well, it is. Yeah, exactly. Like it's fresh to death loser, looking good while staring at lights.
Yeah.
I am not going to chain myself to the current dojo kind of setup. That's it. I mean, you could look at anybody from Strong, really, for potential.
Well, we got to think of who would be the best ones to bring over. I would say Team Filthy, but I don't think they're going to split up Team Filthy. So
what about Roosh? He's not doing anything at the moment.
Oh, bro. Don't tease me.
Yeah.
Don't tease me like that.
Or Dragon Lee would be fine too. Or Ryu
Don't
Lee.
tease me like that.
Yeah. Either of those guys, what are they doing? And they're available because they now deal with Ring of Honor again.
And what if it would be Ryu Lee and then they announce Ryu Lee for the Best of Super Juniors
at the same time? Bang. And now he's an LIJ member. I mean, they can only have him and Hiromu fight each other so many times, and they have always had like that kind of like loving rivalry. So like if they're like, oh, Sonata's down, we need a new member, of course he'd call his like biggest rival and friend. That would be it. That would actually be a great fit. That would be a great fit.
All right. So X is officially Ryu Lee. There it is.
We've called it. There you go.
Okay. So the next match, special singles match, Yo versus Hiromu. And like Yo's never beaten Hiromu. They've faced off 4 times and Hiromu's beaten him every single time. So
what's special about this?
Yeah, is this his time? Like,
do I care?
I care. I mean, it's Hiromu. He's going to have a good match. Yo can have a good match when he's motivated, we'll say. I mean, like, and they've been pushing him pretty hard lately. Like, he's had a bunch of main event matches on the Road 2 shows with Okada. Like, they see something in Yo.
Yeah.
And it's something I saw. It's something I saw when he was still with Roppongi 3K, but like it dimmed so fast once they split Roppongi 3K, and like neither one of them has really hit the highs that I thought that either one of them could go to. So maybe this is where they have Yo score a big win. Although I say score a big win, it's a second match of the night.
It's still Hiromu though. I mean, it is a big win.
Is.
To pick up a win over him, former champion, won Best of the Super Juniors a billion times, I think it'd be a big
probably
win
still
for
carrying
him.
His
he'll still have the trophies to carry that around until the next year. He'll be in the tournament and literally still carrying it with him. But yeah, so I mean, I'm open to it. We'll see how it goes. It's still more exciting than the following match, which would be another. Apparently, it's a special singles match, but it's Tanga Loa versus Yujiro Takahashi.
Why is this not the opening match or the match right before the concession break?
Why wasn't this
just have an extra
the week before in the Golden Series and not even on this card? Like, I could not give a fuck about this.
Is this where they do the turn though? Because you've been talking about Tanga Loa. You think Tanga Loa is gonna turn? Is this where you plant the seeds for that?
I guess. Like, how do you do that? Like, in this particular scenario, like, is it the How to Torture there? And like, you're not going to have Tanga Loa like stomp out Pimp and the House of Torture being like, we're kicking you out and putting him in. If anything, I guess you do like another like House of Torture get the better of him through cheating, and he's like looking at him, and it's like he looks at me, and I look at him, and he looks at me, and they're just like giving each other looks like I should be back to my cheating ways because it gets results, Chief, you stupid Chief. And then that plants the seeds for him to eventually later in the night get involved in the Tama Tonga Evil match.
Yeah, I mean, it could be anything. It could be exactly what you said because that was very well thought out.
Yeah. Well, I did it off the cuff because it's not too fucking hard. So anyway, we'll see. I couldn't care less, but I guess I'll watch it just to see if there are any, meaningful glances, or maybe it even just like Yujiro tries to cheat, but Tangaloa cheats better, and then he's like, oh, that felt good. The cheating ways felt good. Maybe it is something I want to be involved with. And then like Evil or Dick Togo or whatever's at ringside, and they give him the nod like, that was some good cheating, boy. And he's like, I know, right? Maybe I want to be back involved with the cheating again. So, yeah. I think Tangaloa is going to get involved later in the night. But we'll talk about that when we get to it. What's next?
Next up is the fourth match, IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Championships. Team 6 or 9, Master Wato and Ryusuke Taguchi versus Yoshinobu Kanemaru and Doki. Belt up Doki. I'm talking about it.
That's it.
Right now.
This needs to end. This fast needs to end. They were originally my choice to verse Sammy and Tai Conti. It was Team 6 or 9 versus them. But
just imagine, Taguchi finishes the match by sitting on Sammy Guevara's face.
Yeah, that's what I was going with, but it's totally fine. So, but you end up using it with Nakamura, which was way more disgusting. So, let's do that. Strap up Kanemaru and Doki. Let's go.
Yep, finish it. Yep, finish this, and then put the Never Six Mans on Suzuki-gun with Doki, and then let Doki have a couple shots at El Desperado, just because I think those two could put on a fucking banger.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do it. Do it. All right, fifth match, IWGP Tag Team Championships, United Empire. That's Team Khan on the Cobb. Bullet Club, Bad Luck Fale, and Chase Owens. What up, Bad Luck Fale? The Fale Dojo did retweet us the other day.
Hey,
I want to say,
love Lions Roll.
Thank you. And Bishamon, which is Goto and Yoshihashi. So it's a three-way match.
Three-way tag team championship match. There's no way they don't retain, right?
I'm pretty sure they retain here. You got 4 beefy dudes, and then you got like Yoshihashi and Chase. So like, there's going to be a lot of dude just getting thrown around this ring, which is going to be great.
At the Golden Series show, they were making a real big deal about Fale and Owens' new finisher. That's
not just the same finisher they were doing last year.
I don't know what finisher were they doing last year. I can't imagine.
Weren't they doing the grenade launcher last year, where it was like Fale hit the grenade and then Chase Owens was hitting like a suplex out of it?
Nah. Now what happens is Chase Owens climbs to the top rope, and then Fale throws him off, and he does like an elbow drop onto them. It looks even more trash than you can imagine. So now, with this new powerful finisher that they just pinned Goto with, I think it was Goto they pinned, and they've also taken the sticks. They've got the magic sticks of Goto and Yoshihashi in their possession. So maybe they're more powerful than we could ever imagine. Magic sticks and finisher.
Yeah, no, this is nothing. Let's just have Jeff Cobb and Great O'Khan move on.
They will retain.
Yeah,
but I do love.
They will retain.
Fale. I love it.
I don't care for triple threat matches. Like, if they were gonna do, Bad Luck Fale and Chase Owens, like, you could just do that. You don't have to have Yoshihashi and Goto in there.
I would actually prefer this match if it was just like Bullet Club versus United Empire. That's more interesting. I don't need Yoshihashi and Goto back in the mix.
No, they've been beaten. Yeah. They can do a different thing.
And also, they've not only been beaten by the challengers taking their titles from them, they've then been beaten by Bad Luck Fale and Chase Owens. So what right do they even have to be in the match? In my eyes, that makes Fale and Owens the number one contenders. See you later, guys, and move them in. So, yeah, anyway, I feel like our boy Fale's being robbed
Yep.
His opportunity.
Fale, this is your chance, and I need you to go and just intimidate the shit out of people until you get your tag team strap match. You don't need to worry about Bishamon. These guys, they're below all four of you.
Yeah, exactly. Get them
on
out.
the pecking order.
Yeah. So anyway, but I think United Empire are going to retain.
Next up, 6-match never open weight championship match. Tama Tonga, brand new, super handsome telenovela. Tama Tonga versus Evil.
And by this point, will he also be the AEW champion or no? In timeline.
No. That comes after.
Oh, okay, that comes after. That's Future Glory. Well, in keeping with that and keeping with my Forbidden Door predictions, I don't think Tama Tonga's going to win. And I don't think he's going to win because I think his brother is going to turn on him.
We all have that friend who wakes up early to go get everyone McDonald's breakfast, while the rest of us sleep in. This is your sign to thank them. And if you're that friend, this is us saying thank you.
Now get a sausage McMuffin, sausage biscuit, sausage burrito, or hash browns. Choose 2 for $2.50. Enjoy a large iced coffee for just $2. Price and participation may vary. Cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal. Single item at regular price.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
I could see it. And I think it's probably going to be better than anything else they could be doing with Tongaloa right now.
Yeah.
Like, they definitely need to give Tongaloa an edge. Like, you can see Tama Tonga as this, baby face who's seen the light and he's learning the ways, and Tongaloa is just in the background, and that never works out. That never works out.
It doesn't.
He's going to want to step forward into the light, and I think that light is going to be one of these spooky purple lights of the House of Torture.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what? That could really work for him as well. Give House of Torture a bit more credibility because they don't exactly have like a lot of muscle. So you give them that bigger guy. I think him wearing some like spooky gear, a la show and stuff, could be really cool for him. Bit of eye makeup never hurt nobody. And then I think Tama Tonga as well. Change of gear, change of music. Let the thing, because I thought when they came out in a tag the other day, it was like them and Tanahashi came out, but they came out to the Gorillas of Destiny music, and like that song, though a banger, begins with like a gunshot and stuff. Like, it doesn't suit them now, so this will wipe away the last of anything that's to do with GOD. Now, the real important question is, does Jado stay with Tama or does he go with Loa?
I think Jado stays with Tama Tonga.
Okay,
I think that
so Jado's going to stay a good guy. You think? You don't think he's going House of Torture?
Well, he's the new hot fresh baby face in the junior division, isn't he?
Well, that is true. That is true. I hope he goes with House of Torture. Just because I think Tama on his own would be better than sort of having him around. I think managers, and guys side of the ring are really something a bit more for heels, and it would be like he has to choose and then he, goes back to his evil way. So I think that would work, but he was pretty laughable when he was defending them. So I would not be mad at him for staying a good boy.
Yeah, definitely. Mm-hmm. So we're going with Evil winning by chicanery.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Next up, we've got IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship match, El Desperado versus Taiji Ishimari. Now, here's a question. What did Ishimari do to deserve a title shot? Just be there?
He was just there. Because he'd like lost earlier in the night, if I remember correctly, like in a tag match. And even El Desperado was like, why? Like at the time. And then the lights go out and then the United Empire Junior appears. And everyone's like, oh, okay, cool. He's like, no, but you're going to need to face me. But he didn't even challenge for the title. He just went, I'm here, bye, and then left. Yeah. And then everyone's going, what's going on? And then he's like, oh, and I guess I'll fight you too, Bone Soldier. I thought it was weird because when he appeared and the lights came back on, I thought it would have been really cool if he like immediately attacked, and in which case you kind of didn't even need Bone Soldier to be in the ring. You could have just had, old mate holding up his title, feeling good about his win, and then the lights go out, and then United Empire. What's his name again? Francesco Akira?
Akira?
Yeah, Akira attacks, and then that's your next match. You could just hotshot him like that. Or if you're going to have Bone Soldier in there, you could have gone, you know what? If you guys are going to fight, not without me, and then do like a 3-way or something. But, you know.
What, I mean, who else right now? I mean, I guess Akira, since he's the newest member of the roster, but who else is there in the junior division right now that's on El Desperado's level? We haven't seen ELP challenge for it yet, have we?
No, I don't think so. Yeah, ELP
not against Desperado.
Wouldn't he have been the better choice over Bone Soldier? Maybe he's not on these cards. Maybe he went home. You know, maybe he's not in Japan.
Yeah, that's true, and that's I guess that gives Taiji Ishimori something to do. But like, you know, when Desperado started calling out El Lindemann, like,
yeah,
I got a chubby for that, and I'm really sad that that was all a tease.
Yeah, it's kind of annoying because this for me is, I don't know, probably one of my favorite wrestlers in the company versus one of my least favorite because I do not care about Taiji Ishimori. I know that you said he has been good in the past, but I don't know
he can be when he's very motivated.
Yeah, and see that's not good enough for me. Like, you need to be all the time, and if you're inconsistent, then I'm not interested in you. So,
yeah, I think that's fair.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
exactly. Anyway, El Desperado's going to retain. Who cares?
Yeah, it seems like a nothing. It's a fill-in match.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's really sad.
It's just a defense.
He's already beaten Taiji Ishimori.
Yeah, exactly. And he'll beat him again, and it'll be fine. So, yeah, exactly. If Taiji Ishimori wins, I would be very upset. But yeah, so I think it'll be fine.
Despy's the ace.
Yeah, he's the
Despy's the ace.
Exactly.
8th match, IWGP United States Championship, Hiroshi Tanahashi versus Tomohiro Ishii. This is a vacant IWGP United States Heavyweights Championship. Mm-hmm. Who is walking away with this?
I mean, Tanahashi's walking away with it. Like, it's just a placeholder until, you know, Osprey gets back, basically. I think it's
I don't know.
Why is that?
I don't know, man. Because, okay, so which member of the New Japan roster has been on AEW television the most? Tomohiro Ishii.
Well, I was going to say Minoru Suzuki.
Well, I think actually Ishii's been on once or twice more, because I think Ishii's been on like 4 times.
Oh, really?
It's at least 3 times.
Okay.
So and Ishii's a big over here in England specifically. Like, we had a member of parliament come out and say that his favorite wrestler was Tomohiro Ishii. Like, Ishii's a big fucking deal over here, dude.
Really?
So like, yeah. So like over here, and I'm pretty sure he's getting to be like pretty well known over in America as well. Uh-huh. When I was talking to Mikey from the Independent Waters podcast, shout out Mikey, what's up?
Nope.
He was saying that he doesn't know very much New Japan, but he's already a big fan of Tomohiro Ishii because of his work in AEW.
I love that.
So I think that I think that if they want someone to go over to America and kind of rep New Japan strong style, it might be Ishii, man. They might put that belt on him just so he can be on TV all the time.
I have no problem with it. You have done a good job at convincing me to maybe care about this match, because I love that they put Ishii in it, because that's the kind of wrestler he is. They're like, we need somebody, something's gone wrong, put him in, it's going to be a banger, like guaranteed. And that's what's going to be. And I knew it would be a good match, but I thought it was almost a foregone conclusion that that Tanahashi would win. But if they were always planning to get it to Osprey and Tanahashi was never part of the plan, you could put in Ishii as a placeholder, and then it can make its way to Osprey if that's where they want it to be, or maybe they may just sideways it. But yeah, I mean, if he's out there in America doing the thing, it wouldn't hurt for him to be the champion.
Yeah, I think having a belt on Ishii while he's there all the time is a good idea.
Yeah, okay, I have no problem with it. That would actually be my best case scenario, and you know, I don't normally say that when it comes to my girlfriend, but I think I would like Ishii to have it. You've talked me into it.
Cool.
Go.
Glad to hear it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and our final match is the main event, IWGP Sekai Hebiku Championship, Kazuchika Okada versus Tetsuya Naito. Now, their singles record is tied 6-6. Mm-hmm. Their championship record, 5-2 for Okada. So pretty gnarly. I mean, can Tetsuya Naito unseat Okada in a dome during the 50th anniversary celebrations for New Japan Pro Wrestling? Like, what? He couldn't do it just a couple months ago. What makes him think he's going to be able to do it now? I
know he's getting real good at rolling people up. Real good at it.
It's going to be like a WWE Raw soon.
Yeah, exactly. Let's put out the argument for him winning, because it's very easy to just be like, Okada's the new champ. We're going to have another long run with him. It's a new belt. We're establishing it. All those kind of things, right? So everybody already knows all the reasons why Okada would win, because he's just the best, and that's just the way it would be, you know. And I have no problem with that. I like him as the champion.
He's the man. It's the 50th anniversary. He's carrying the belt. He's showing everybody up. This is a new age.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
And it's the age of Okada.
And so for all those reasons, the unexpected thing would be to flip it. So a couple of things you could do with Naito to get that done and to protect Okada. We've seen, you know, some crafty roll-ups. We've also seen, you know, a nut shot from Naito and stuff. Do we have him spit in the face of the 50th anniversary and do something dastardly and return to a more heelish version of Naito to get back the belt that he kind of was robbed of? You know what I mean? Like, he won the double gold dash. He ended up with both titles, but then COVID happened, and then he was kind of fucked over by Evil, and then it's now, you know? Like, so does he go, you know what? I'm going to get what's mine. I'm going to get my dome win, and I'm going to take these titles, and I'm going to do it by any means necessary. We've seen him win a belt like that before. That's how Sonata debuted. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, okay. So what was the point of having them, you know, face off twice already this year? If they're just going to do the third time, like, is it the third time just to have him go back to being like dastardly heel?
I don't know. I mean, the reason why they've had them versus, they were sort of rebooting everything, and they're like, we just need to throw out the best match we got. Everybody like loves that. We just need to put them in the ring together and make people care about New Japan. And it worked. I cared more about New Japan. I'm like, Naito and Okada reversing again? Fuck yeah. You know, so I personally don't really love them being back together again so soon. I was surprised that they were even against each other in New Japan Cup, you know. And that's not normally what New Japan does. So what that paints for me is maybe they're running a little bit of a different strategy at the moment and throwing shit at the wall and see what sticks. So maybe they go, fuck it, let's flip it. You know what I mean? It's a new title. They're free from the legacy of like the V4 belt, you know, where they used to run down every single champion every time, and it was like really rarefied air as to who could hold it. This new one has already flipped like owners quite a few multiple times, you know. So there's already been a lot of champions. Naito's name isn't on that belt yet. So, you know, he doesn't have to keep it forever, but maybe they just like go, bang, pop the house, change it up, you know.
It definitely could be. Do you want Naito? Oh, shit. You know what I just thought about? Naito goes into Forbidden Door as your champion, and Okada can challenge for the AEW title.
You could do that, or you could do like that gives you could just do Okada versus Danielson as a special singles match, and then either guy can win. It doesn't matter.
At Forbidden Door, you can do the rematch of Naito and Okada for the sixth time this year. Forbidden Door.
Or you do Okada versus Omega 1 million, but without the title on the line. There's plenty of things you could do, like, you know, Naito versus really anybody and have him win and still be the title at Forbidden Door. You know, there's things you could do there.
I can't say that I see the value in putting the belt on Naito right now.
I personally don't think this is going to happen. Like, I'm playing devil's advocate as to reasons they would, but you would think the real value going into Forbidden Door is Okada's the champion.
Okada is the champion, showcasing your best of the best. Yes.
Yeah. So then how do you not make Naito look like a loser? Because he's lost many times. to Okada.
Yeah, and then how do you not make it boring when you have him challenge Okada again soon down the line?
Yeah, exactly.
Because at some point, so your two biggest names right now, I mean, other than Tanahashi, who's we say might be past a world title run, but like you can never count him out.
Nah. So if they give him the nod or whatever, he's back in ring shape and the hair's looking fine and he's holding the title. Like it's done. Like
absolutely, absolutely. But the two biggest names for the belt would be Okada and Naito. Mm-hmm. So having both of those two hold the belt during the 50th anniversary year, not a bad idea. But if you have him win at this point, to go into this big American show as your champion seems like a bad idea. Although maybe Naito, they think Naito might get over a bit more with the American audience because he's kind of, he's super cool. I don't know, man. I don't see the value. I don't see the value in having Naito hold the belt right now. I see the value in having him hold the belt during the 50th anniversary year at some point, just because those two are the big two right now. It's, Batista and Orton or whatever, or Batista and Cena, but like,
it's tricky. Like if I was booking it, I wouldn't even have this match now. It's a tricky situation to be in, and I feel like Naito's gonna lose out because of it. Like, yeah,
and I think
he's just gonna get Rainmaker, and that's a wrap. I just feel like that's what it is. Yeah.
If that is what happens, and it definitely could be, how does he redeem himself down the line? Like, are they just rerunning the Naito redeems himself story from 2020?
Forever. Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. It feels like they're doing something different with him character-wise at the moment. Like the way he got through New Japan Cup, and then the interaction with Okada, like with the ball shot after the match and stuff. They're telling a little bit of a different story with him. So that's where the asterisk is for me.
I don't believe it. I could see it happening, but I don't know why. Huh. We will see.
I mean, they wouldn't do this, but the only way, like, I don't know, the main way I would see to protect Naito but not have him end up with the belt would be Okada turns heel.
Oh my goodness! Wow. I mean, that would have to be the final death knell for Chaos, right?
Yeah, I mean, are Chaos even still a fucking thing? Like, I haven't heard them talk about it in ages.
It's Chaos and Hantai are the same. It's Kantai now.
Yeah,
they're the same. They're the same faction.
The same thing. Yeah, it's just good guys kind of thing. But I mean, Chaos was originally a bad faction.
It was originally it was basically Bullet Club at that point. They were the cool. We're gonna cheat and like, win. And
does Okada hit a nut shot on Naito or whatever, or have somebody interfere and retain, and then he's just like, he's been a dick since he got it, and just kind of turns up the dickishness a little bit. Kind of nothing really changes except for Naito is protected, I guess, and then you could have him either turn his faction evil or just be on his own.
Okay, let's look at that. Let's dive into this one. So if we dissolve Chaos from there, we've still got main unit, Hantai. We've still got LIJ. LIJ is in that sort of chaotic good spot. Would they move into like the further down the good guy, bad guy ladder to where they're nicer now?
Yeah, I mean, I think they've kind of been good guys for quite a while.
Yeah, I definitely thought it was, you have the left is heel, right is face, and they are pretty far face on that spectrum. So, oh God, here we're going to do it. Guess what? Chaos is splitting. All right. We've already decided this is how it's going. He's going to turn heel. He's going to dissolve Chaos. What do we do with Kazuchika Okada and a new heel stable for him?
Does he just create something brand new, or are you envisioning him joining up with another existing stable?
I think I think you can't have him join up because he can't automatically become the leader of unless it's Okada-gun or something like that. Maybe like
that's crazy.
I just don't see that happening.
Yeah.
But like it would definitely be something new. He'd be building from the ground up because we've been really shaking things up with like House of Torture and Bullet Club and United Empire and things like that. They're refreshing everything. Now would be a good time to get rid of the old, like, because Chaos being the oldest. Yeah, it's the oldest faction out there. So yeah, you get rid of that. You know, Bishamon can join Hantai or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, aren't they already? I don't know.
Basically,
who cares?
Basically,
yeah.
So, okay, if he does that, who's his first recruit?
Starts a whole new faction. Man, we've been on a fantasy booking tear today, haven't we?
I'm in the mood.
Yeah,
I'm in the mood.
I'm in the mood. Who would you have be number one draft pick? Because, I mean, he's probably not going to take anybody from LIJ.
No.
You would think he'd keep them all the same.
United Empire's too new. He probably wouldn't take anybody from there.
I would like to see him, and it would gut the faction, but I would like to see Tekkers be his left and right hand man.
Oh my god. Yeah, that would just fuck Suzuki-gun.
Yeah,
oh my god.
It would fuck Suzuki-gun royally, but that would be sick. Okay, how about even if we don't do that, maybe we just do Desperado. He earned his respect. Oh. He earned his respect when they had their match against each other. He was like, "You're a pit bull. You're somebody I respect. You're one of the only people I respect around here. You're my new right-hand man." And we just start with that. Just one guy, the other top singles champion.
That would be that's a gnarly like faction starting out because you've got the world heavyweight champion and the junior heavyweight champion.
Yeah. And I hate it because I love his mask, but Desperado demasks and he's whole new. So you know he's got those
two
looks
super handsome champions.
Two super handsome champions. Yeah, it's hot, right? It's hot. Fuck, I should be booking this stuff, man. I'm so fucking good at it.
He can keep the name El Desperado.
Oh yeah, he would keep the name, and he could even wear the mask in an entrance and then remove it. But he starts to wrestle. You know, he does away with the tassel-y pants and goes to like a more traditional sort of wrestler gear.
I dig it. Oh, man, I dig that.
And then you'd have those two together, and then down the track, they would bring in a third man. I'm fucking wiling out right now. It's the Great O'Khan right, boss. It's the Great O'Khan. Boom. Bring him in as well.
You're taking O'Khan away from the United Empire?
O'Khan, fuck United Empire. Imagine Great O'Khan, all hail. Imagine that picture of him that's existing on the internet right now, you know, where he's belted up and he's got his hands on his hips. It's like at the top of the stairs or whatever and just looks like a hero. Imagine him, Okada, and a demasked El Desperado. It's hot.
There it is. All hail.
And that's the name of the faction. It's just called All Hail. Like,
All Hail.
That's what it is.
We're going off.
Yeah,
we're going off wild.
I'm fucking on one today. But yeah. So anyway, that's my dream faction. You got anything else?
I want to see. God, I'd want to see them bring back like a young lion for them.
Actually, you know what you could do? You could do Shooter if you needed somebody to interfere in the match.
God damn it. He's going to be such a baby face though.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Could be.
That is a good fit though. A shooter learning from Okada would be, I mean, that's perfect.
Yeah.
Oh,
and then that begins the story of like his first mentor was John Moxley. His second mentor is Okada. You know, they start to build the pedigree of guys that think. So if you just needed a heel turn and you didn't want to, you know, be breaking up factions and stuff like that, you could start as easy as Shooter interference and then becomes Okada's protege.
I got it right here. What if instead of Shooter, you bring back Ren Narita and you have him start learning from Okada, and Shibata's pissed. Shibata's like, how dare you take my student, my baby Shibata, and try and teach him your ways, and that sets up the match between Shibata and Okada.
Oh, fuck. Okay. We need to stop doing fantasy booking because it's getting too good, and then anything that happens after that is just going to be fucking punishing.
Oh, man.
Oh, yeah.
And all this just because we're getting bored of Okada versus Naito. Look at how spoiled we are.
I know. It's like the fucking one of the best matches going in wrestling today, and we're like, do we really want to have it 3 times in a year? Yeah, we suck. But anyway, that was so much fun running down all that stuff. This is a fantasy booker-mania here today, but it is fun to just let your imagination run wild, especially on these times when we're just, we're predicting stuff because the real juicy stuff is just around the corner. So, yeah, we've got Dontaku, we've got Forbidden Door, and then we haven't even gotten into Best of the Super Juniors yet, but let's save that, and we'll do a Best of the Super Juniors episode coming up.
Yeah, I think they're bound to announce the lineup soon, right?
Yeah.
Like probably before our next episode.
Let's do that. Let's not completely fantasy book the entire fucking brackets for Best of the Super Juniors. Just let's let that play out.
Oh no, we're gonna do the best case scenario, worst case scenario for Best of the Super Juniors.
We're absolutely doing that. I'm just saying let's not just be like, and I can't wait until Lee Moriarty is in Best of the Super Juniors. That kind of stuff. Let's
wait. Yes. let's get Lee Moriarty in Best of the Super
When
Juniors.
Hook debuts in Best of the Super Juniors. Yeah, exactly.
Oh my God.
I know. But yeah,
I love it.
No, that's awesome. Well, this has been fun, man.
Oh, Hook gets his first loss to Kanemaru, who like bashes a bottle over his head or something. I love it.
He will have already lost to Chase Owens. It's fine.
Don't you put that
fine.
Evil in the world.
Totally fine. I've been throwing juju around everywhere today.
Don't you put that Evil on me, Ricky Bobby. All right. Hey, let's end the show.
Let's wrap it up.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for listening to this, the 4th episode of the Okada Shorts podcast.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah. I haven't really been keeping track. And we had like bonus episodes to begin with. So an episode of the Okada Shorts podcast. Yep.
Once again, my name is Curtis Spears. If you'd like to hear more of my thoughts, you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at ElDestructo83. You can listen to my other wrestling podcast, The Smart Foundation. You could also listen to my Geek Stuff podcast, which is things like D&D, Warhammer 40,000, that sort of stuff. That's the Rolling Dice. Rolling. We got it wrong. That's the Throw-In Dice podcast. Don't even know the name of my own fucking show. Look at me. It's 2 a.m.
Exactly.
That's what it is.
He told us it'd be 2 a.m.
Frankie's it's 2 a.m. And you know what? I'm fucking taking an 8-hour drive to Wales tomorrow to go play more Warhammer.
There you go.
All weekend. I'm going to go to a whole other country. It's going to be great.
That is hot. That's hot. And I have been Rafe Houston. I'm the host of Faces and Feels. You can check us out at Faces Feels Cast. All kinds of interviews planned. There'll also be more talk about my recent holidays, my adventures to the Deathmatch Down Under, Not Here to Fuck Spiders event, and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, tune in if you like wrestling interviews, if you like independent wrestling, deathmatch wrestling, anything like that. That's where you can check it out.
Big special thank you finally to our boy Riff Your Pod on Instagram and Bandcamp. Thank you so much for our absolute banger theme. We fucking love it. We get down every time we play it. Air guitars all over. Fucking Rafe's on the mic like he's actually growling and stuff. It's great.
Yeah, thank you, Owen, at Riff Your Pod. You can check them out on Bandcamp, and he can knock you up an easy theme just like that, lickety split. And when I get up first thing in the morning and need to wake up to do this show and have energy, that theme is just what I need. So that's banging. Yeah. And who else we need to thank? We need to thank the lovely folks at Countout.
Yeah, thank you, Countout, very much for hosting our show and hosting a lot of really great shows on the channel. Like we referred to today, the Independent Waters podcast, which is a lot of fun. I like listening to Pure, which is a Ring of Honor retrospective where they kind of go through different Ring of Honor shows. Absolutely love that one because it takes me back to when I was a younger man. And there's How to Talk to Your Friends About Wrestling. That's a great one as well. Exactly. I love that podcast. And good stuff. Countout. You guys fucking rule.
They're killing it. Shout out to Lauren, Your Dose of Death podcast, a long-time friend of mine. That's a good listen too. He also covers deathmatch wrestling and does interviews and previews events and stuff like that. So a good listen as well. So thanks to the folks at Countout, and thank you to you, the listener, for listening.
We love you.
Yeah, exactly. So until next time, keep it right, keep it tight, and keep it short.
Keep it short, son. What's up?
This has been a Countout Podcast.
We all have that friend who wakes up early to go get everyone McDonald's breakfast, while the rest of us sleep in. This is your sign to thank them. And if you're that friend, this is us saying thank you.
Now get a sausage McMuffin, sausage biscuit, sausage burrito, or hash browns. Choose 2 for $2.50. Enjoy a large iced coffee for just $2. Price and participation may vary. Cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal. Single item at regular price.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Underdog Fantasy is the fastest growing fantasy app and easiest place to play fantasy sports. Just jump on UnderdogFantasy.com or download the app, draft your team, and that's it. And if drafts aren't your thing, they also have a pick'em game where you can win 20 times your money in a single night. Use promo code RADIO, and Underdog will double your first deposit when you sign up with up to $100 in bonus cash. Deposit $100, get $100 free. That's promo code RADIO. Terms and conditions apply.